Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Maria. Great to be on.
Now, it is true that many of those people were in positions of power during a moment in time when, in fact, things did get worse. But, Governor, what do you make of this latest GOP, lack of unity with these 50 names on this open letter today, calling Donald Trump dangerous to the country?
Well, there's no secret that there are some people in the establishment Republican elite who just don't like Donald Trump. They don't like anything about him. And I think the biggest reason they don't like him is because they can't control him. And I think that's a good thing. We need a disruptive election. We need some disruption in the institutionalism of Washington because it has failed us. In fact, all the big institutions have failed us. Political, financial, media. They're all failures. And as a result, a lot of Americans are feeling that they have been the ones who have paid the price, suffered the most, and they just look and watch as the people in the institutions just do fine. I think there is a real fear in Washington, not that Donald Trump will lose. There's a fear that he will win and that he will shake up things, and we need it.
Well, look, we asked him, I talked to him really about the economic plan, but when it comes to national security, what is he going to do to resonate with voters with that message? I mean, can he, I said to him, will you come out with a list of the people you're considering? And he said, yeah, we're going to do that after Labor Day. We're actually going to come out with some of the names that will be part of my cabinet. Would that be enough, do you think, to turn the tide for him? Because we know he's had a tough 2 weeks, Governor.
Well, he has, but I think he really turned it around, starting with his speech last Friday night and then the speech in Detroit yesterday, which I thought was terrific, and it laid out a very, very clear, diametrically opposed plan to Hillary Clinton's spend more, tax more. I mean, if you won't spend more, tax more, Hillary's your girl. But if you really want to get the economy to churn for workers and put them back on jobs that pay them a decent salary, I mean, what you heard yesterday from Donald Trump, including child care expenses being deducted, I mean, that's money in the pockets of working people. That's something folks can get their arms around.
Governor Huckabee, you were really specific during your presidential run, and I know because I moderated one of the debates that I had you in, and we talked about you were projecting 6% growth as a result of your flat tax. I mean, what kind of growth are we looking at if we see Donald Trump, elected president, implements everything that he laid out in that speech yesterday? I'm still struggling to find what the campaign is putting out there as projected growth.
Well, I'm not an economist, which makes me smarter than most people who are economists because they seem to always get it wrong. You know, every month the economists will come out and say, this month the economists are surprised with the results. So,
oh, no, John Hilton from the Wall Street Journal. Don't be offended.
I'm not an economist.
But here's what I think we can look at. If you cut tax rates, especially if you do what Trump has proposed in cutting the corporate tax rate down to 15%, you start bringing business back to America. Business has gone elsewhere. Let me put it in terms that any consumer understands. If you're looking to buy a television set and one place is selling the TV for $700, next door they're selling it for $500, where do you buy the exact same television?
Right.
You buy it at the place that's selling it for $500. This is simple. You don't have to be a genius or an economist to understand that. Why are people moving businesses overseas? Because it's cheaper to do business. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the world. One thing we've got to make sure people understand, because a lot of consumers don't get this, corporations don't really pay tax. They never have. They build the tax into the cost of their goods or services, and they pass it on to the end user. So when people say, oh, these corporations are going to get a tax cut, what they need to understand is, no, they're going to get lower prices on the things they buy that are made and served in America because if the corporations pay the tax, they pass on the tax. It's really that simple.
Yeah,